really thankful for him too.
When was that?
I think it was earlier in the season. I want to say around like week 2 or 3 for sure. Probably week 3, I'm guessing, around there. I can't recall.
With Caleb specifically, was there a moment, whether it's, in the offseason or maybe at the beginning of camp where you guys or maybe you specifically kind of realized that he was that kind of player and that you guys were going to be in good hands from an offensive standpoint?
I think definitely like when he came here, you get like it's like a certain feeling, like a certain presence he has. Like when he's on the field, like he really takes control of like everyone, and everyone really like listens and like pays attention to him, and like you want to when you have guys like that on your team, all you want to do is help them, like just like what he's doing right now. I want to help him in any way that I can, and then eventually that will help yourself and that'll help your team, and I think that's more than anything. He has a presence for sure.
From a receiver's perspective, can you pick out a couple plays that he's had this year that kind of jumped out to you?
I think there's a lot to name, but like I guess the one last week, I've been seeing it on Twitter a little bit, is the one that he threw to me on the run, and I'm just like, obviously in the game you're just like, oh cool, like he threw a pass to me, like that was a good ball, like whatever. You go back and look at it, I don't know how he threw it like that, especially with that accuracy and that speed, like, and to throw it on the run, like sidearm like that. And I mean, he does a lot of things in practice too, so like when he goes in the game, like I think that's why I didn't think much of it when he did it, nor did I even maybe notice, but he does stuff like that in practice all day, so it's like you're more amazed when he does that in practice sometimes, the stuff he does, and then he goes in the game and you're like, oh, he did that in practice. So
what are you getting from people not talking about him for the Heisman after like Oregon State, and now he's like basically one of the co-favorites? I mean, what do you feel about that? Do you feel like people are just finally catching up to what he can do, or is it these games in a row that have been really impressive?
I think he's been doing that. I just think that now he's just getting a little more respect of it. We're starting to win a lot of games and stuff like that. So I think it's more just like people are just starting to be put on notice. I mean, we're climbing up the ladder in terms of the rankings and everything. So I think with that, with winning comes a little more notoriety and a little more respect, especially for him.
With Caleb specifically, you mentioned kind of what he does in the practice field and things like that.
Right.
It seems like he straddles the line well between playing creative, a little loose, and kind of, but also being effective. How have you seen that? What are some of the things that maybe he's out here doing in practice that has wowed you guys?
I think like just more like his game overall that allows him to play like that. He's one of the calmest quarterbacks I've ever been around. Like he just like I just think he's just elegant in the way he plays the game. Like that's the only word I could describe for it. Like he's out there and like he's in the backfield zigzagging around doing spin moves, and then he like doesn't get touched and has a first down and he's out of bounds. I'm like, just stuff like that is like amazing to me, and like the stuff that he pulls off in the game. Like he's a gamer, he's a winner. So I think that he practiced like that as well. So it's no shock to us.
Thanks, Kyle.
Right.
Right on. Thanks a lot.